Well, good morning. We are going to start this over again. Sometimes you do have technical difficulties. Well, a lot of you, I'm sure, are dealing with the snow, whether you're in the east, the west, or in the middle. And there's some of you who are dealing with the snow other places as well. And I'm pretty sure there's a few of you who are in the sun enjoying the heat. Uh, but at this point, I think what I want to say to all of you, we need to get people involved in politics. Politics is local. And because politics is local, I want a lot of you to consider to run for office. It can be a minor office. Everybody don't have to run for the big office. You know, since it's local, so you need to consider running for school board. You need to consider running for council. You need to consider running for all the different offices that are available in your municipality. So I really like for a lot of you to think about it. Because I have conversation with a lot of you, and you are very brilliant, and you have great ideas and direction of where you think your community should go. As I've always said this before, we cannot wait for people to take care of us. We need to take care of ourselves. And I think it's very evident now as you look at politics in America that we have to step up to the plate and look out for ourselves. So that's your assignment for the next month of December, to think about running for office, talk to family members, see if this is what you want to do, and then find out what you need to do in order to run for office. It's one thing to say you want to run, but there's certain kind of requirements that you have to have, whether it's signing the petitions, to due dates, when it's due, how many you need, and you have time to do that. Because when January 1st kicks in, that's when the battle is going to start. As you all know, it's already started right after the election a few weeks ago. As you know, everybody's concerned about the midterm election. It's going to be a very important election because it's going to dictate a lot about politics in America. Well, before I bring the person on the show, I want to ask, I'm going to bring up something to my audience. Can you pass the new U.S. citizen test? I want to know, can you pass it? So I put it up and I'm going to go through it, and I want you to take the test. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Name a power that is only for the federal government. What amendment says all persons born naturally in the United States? What about the fourth one? The American Revolution had many important events. Name one. Why are the Phillips papers important? Okay. Okay. James Madison is famous for many things. Name one. When did all the women get the right to vote? Why did the United States enter the Persian Gulf War? Number 9, name one example of American innovation. And what is Memorial Day? Now, I put them out there for you. This is going to be the new test they're looking at for U.S. citizenship. And I'm willing to bet you half of you can't pass the test. Thank God that you are already American citizens. And as you think about it, I decided that I will give you the answers. The first one is Thomas Jefferson. The second one, all of the above. Name the power that is only for the federal government. The question, okay. 3, the 14th Amendment. As you know, that's a very critical one because you know Supreme Court is dealing with that now. 4 is the Battle of Yorktown. 5, they supported passing the Constitution. 6, president during the War of 1812. 7, 1920. 8, to force the Iraq military from Kuwait. 9 is the light bulb. And 10, a holiday to honor soldiers who died in military service. So I put them out there to show you how they're going to start to ask people who want to be American citizens to pass these questions. But I just thought it was interesting to see how many you can pass. And even though we are our citizens and we were born here, I will admit to all of you, I did pass 8. I didn't pass all 10, but I did pass 8. But since then, I could pass all 10. So that's something that I just wanted to bring up to you to show you how things are tightening up in America. You know, I have some concerns, and one of the concerns I have is that we got to look at politics for what politics is. And what I mean by that is, I want to put some things in perspective, but I need you to do your own homework and to think about it. As you know, you saw where the administration now want to make nursing not a professional thing. Well, think about it. Why would you do that? Why would you not want to make it a profession? Well, think about it. If you do that, who does it affect? You realize if you try to borrow money in your profession, you can borrow a lot more. And if you're not a profession, you can borrow less. So that means that we may not be able to do some of the things because we may not be able to borrow as much money as we need. And the reason I bring that up is to get you to start to think about why some of the politics are the way they are. Why are some things the way they are? You know, I think people have to also understand um, that we need to hold our elected officials accountable for everything. And I'm saying to all of you, starting January 1st, let's get involved in politics. Let's get involved with our politicians. And I said it and I will continue to say it. We need to reward those who support us. We need to reward those who understand our agenda. And those that don't, then we need to punish them. And what I mean by punish them is vote them out because they take us for granted. And we got to stop letting people take us for granted because we apparently, ladies and gentlemen, I think you see as government is moving now, we got to look out for ourselves because nobody's not going to look out for us. But I've been saying this since I've had this podcast. And I've also said to you, the reason I have this podcast is because it's Did You Know? Is because I just want, did you know? And if you didn't know, find out about it. So anyway, I know it's a snowy day out there. And so what I decided to do today, I want to bring different people on. And as I bring different people on to this program, I bring all kinds of people on with all kinds of perspectives or their views. And so I ran into a gentleman that I know that when I work out and he works out, and we've had a number of conversations. And him and I had a conversation, and he brought something up. And he said, I said, would you like to be on this program? And would you like to talk about the discussion that we just had? And he was a little hesitant. So I'm going to bring on Mr. Phillips on, and he's going to talk about, and we have at the bottom there, altruism, and the definition is there. So I want y'all to look at the definition, altruism, and we're going to talk about it. Because to be honest with you, when he first brought it up to me, I was like, well, I don't know. I said, that's probably an interesting topic. So I'm bringing him on so he can tell you his thoughts about it, his views on it, and why he believes in it. So I'm going to bring on Mr. Phillips. I don't call him Mr. Phillips most of the time, but I'm going to call him Mr. Phillips. So, and we've got to know each other for a long time. So, Brother Phillips, I'm going to call you Brother Phillips. Tell my audience who you are, and there you go. Can't hear him.
Of years, I'll bring my background into it where I grew up in that, and that's where Richard's from. He's from Pittsburgh. I'm from Pittsburgh. We graduated at the same time, two different schools. But speaking of altruism, he gave the definition. I will give it again. Altruism is defined as the selfless concern for the well-being of others, often involving acts that benefit others without expecting anything in return. And here I will present some of the benefits of altruism. Then I'll go into the intellectual definition of all the other benefits from a professional designation, actually. But to begin with altruism, let me say it started for me at a very early age in Pittsburgh. And the word didn't come up then. It was from my father. As I was growing up, he always showed me and expected from me the ability to work for and work with other people, and at times to take away from any personal benefits that I would have. Uh, in other words, just giving to others. So, some of the things I remember from my dad is uh, he started off by inviting a youth up the street from me, the same street. He had me pick a youth when I was 5 years old. And the youth that he had me pick was uh, not from a very wealthy family. As a matter of fact, from a very poor family. And what we would do is usually once a week for several years, sometimes once every other week, but not, of course, in the wintertime, we would go fishing. We'd go fishing in Pittsburgh, down at the Monongahela, and most of the time, all we caught were catfish. But I was 5, and this youth that he had me pick was about 9 or 10 years old. And so I would go up to the corner, and they lived in apartments. We lived in a house, and I would call his name, and he would come down, and my dad would have a fishing rod for him and for me, and we'd go fishing. And the youth also, we would have snacks for him and something to drink for him that my mother would prepare. And we would go down to the river and we would go fishing. And I got to know this youth who went to the same high school as I did later on. And we became friends till he went his way and I went my way. But that was something that I always remember. And that was something that was altruistic and something that had me ingrained in me at an early age. Another thing my dad did was he would take me for walks down to the river, down on the railroad tracks, and under what was called the Liberty Bridge. This was in the 1950s. There was an encampment of not only unemployed people, but what other people would call them were bums. They would ride the rails, and some of them would not ride the rails, and some of them were deep into alcoholism and also into drugs. My dad would go down there and talk to them and say hello to them. And my dad worked in a steel mill, didn't have a lot of money, but he would give dimes and quarters out to these people so they could purchase food. We did that a number of times, and that stuck with me later on in life. Why my dad did that is it was just ingrained in him to help others. So that's my beginning, and then I went on and graduated from college with a degree in business and went my merry way. So leads me to altruism and how I got more heavily involved into helping others. And the benefit of it is coming up later in my talk. So let me explain something here first of all. And I take my glasses off to read close. So I gave the definition of altruism, the history behind me at an early age, which stuck with me. And let me say this before getting involved in this. It's very important, I would say, for people to ingrain in their children, in their youth, whoever they're involved with, friends, relatives, youth, the ability to share altruism with them and get them involved in an early age, because in an early age, once involved, potentially and probably always involved. So, what does altruism do for other people and for us? Increased happiness. Engaging in altruistic acts can lead to greater feelings of happiness and satisfaction. Here, I'm going to give just a basic definition and get heavily involved in the definition later on. The next is improved well being. Altruism is connected to better mental health and overall well being in other people and ourselves, and enhanced self esteem. Helping others can boost your own self esteem and self worth. Longer life. How about that one? It's been proven altruistic behaviors are associated with better health and longevity in oneself. These benefits highlight how altruism not only helps others, but also positively impacts the giver. So let me get involved with deeper involvement of definitions and benefits of altruism. I have defined these benefits and these things that we as individuals can share in and benefit from and give to others. I call it the tapestry of life. Of course, we all have an idea what is tapestry. Tapestry is taking from here and there and put it on the way I think of a tapestry, it's a woven piece of uh, sculpture on cloth or linen, and you look at it, and when you're uh, putting it together, the tapestry, it's not very well defined. It's not very well understood. People look at it and say it's a mess, actually. Once it's done, once the whole tapestry is completed, uh, sometimes it is not only beautiful, but it's necessary as you see what is provided. So the first thing I look for is opportunity. What is the opportunity, and how does the opportunity of altruism come about? Well, you heard from my early background when I was 5 years old, and this went on for several years. And my dad shared other things, many, many other things that involved other people and the involvement that he was involved. And I would look upon this and learn from this. So the opportunity for you all, you have to think about it. Where's the opportunity? Uh, if you're like me regarding opportunity, at times I say, oh, that's something I'm going to do. It passes by. Well, the next opportunity to help others, oh, I want to do that. It passes by. So the opportunity, you can see it almost daily, weekly, yearly. There's an opportunity for altruism, which is freely and unselfishly helping others. But you have to start somewhere. And once you start, uh, you gain the wisdom of what is involved. Why would we say wisdom is involved in altruism? Wisdom is something that is, of course, positive. Wisdom is something that is learned. Wisdom is something that is part of the tapestry that I referred to before. Who in Scripture uh, asked for the one gift from the Lord? It was Solomon. He wanted wisdom. And from that, we see the opportunity, of course, to help others. My other background would be at present, and for the last probably 20 years, I'm a lay minister. Actually, what I have received is after 2 years of training and many other years of background involved with this, it is uh, what is called, I'm a Stevens minister. And what I do right now is my opportunity for altruism involved with that spiritual uh, opportunity as a Stevens minister is I visit nursing homes. Beforehand, I visited individual people who had certain kind of problems. And although it wasn't designed this way, the majority of the people I was involved with had health problems, and three of them ended up passing away. Two of them had problems with not only their health, but their belief system. And I was able to be involved with them. Regarding altruism and regarding, say, me as a Stevens minister, that was not something that I told people to do. I freely listened to them. That was the benefit. That was the background that I was involved with as a Stevens minister, and I would throw out at them the opportunity to share their problems they have with themselves and give the benefit from themselves of the opportunity to help themselves. So, regarding altruism, it ties in from this standpoint. We don't say, "What a good boy am I? What a good fella am I for doing all this?" We listen to people. We see their problem. We help them where we can with their problem. We don't dive deep into the hole with them. We don't say, "Oh, that's so bad." We just listen to them. Because I was involved with altruism by listening to people who had alcohol problems and had drug problems. And we don't dive into that and say, "You should have never done that." We just listen to them. I was involved in that for several different people. So the next thing beside wisdom that we have is uh, what does altruism do for them and for us? It gives us joy and happiness. I always feel that happiness is something that is very important. But what is happiness? Happiness is something that is fleeting. I'm happy today, I'm sad tomorrow. I'm happy this or that I've done this and it's a great thing, and then it's gone. Joy, on the other hand, when we have joy and give joy through altruism to others, it is something that sticks with us forever. The joy that I got from my dad makes me almost want to weep because it is with me in my old age, which I'm old. I'm in my 70s, but I'll never forget it. Forget it. It's like yesterday that I remember him had me go down and call my friend to go fishing. It was like yesterday that we would walk down and my dad gave dimes and quarters to the people who had nothing. Back then, a dime and a quarter would get you a lot. And these were people that would, there were sterno cans around that would, sterno cans were used to heat, but also it was high in alcohol, 90% alcohol. They would heat it and drink the alcohol. My dad would ask them, he wouldn't tell them, he said, "I'm giving this for your benefit, whatever you want, but please don't use this for stoner cans to drink the liquid." He would not tell them not to do that. He would ask them not to so they could have food, because without that, you have nothing. So it was with me today, that joy. And I'm asking you that when you see the opportunity to be altruistic to people, there is joy involved. It's not fleeting, it's there from the day that you give it. Next is gratitude. The gratitude that we have, the gratitude that we give, is something that is there forever. It is something that is not only spiritual, but it is something, if you want to look at it, from man. What is gratitude? Gratitude is something that we give and we get. The gratitude of others, the gratitude to others. It is something that all mankind needs and is so out of character in this political world that we get involved with on both sides, maybe one side more than another. But it is gratitude that gives from the heart. The next thing that we get from altruism is a mentorship. When we have one particular individual or group of individuals, there's a mentorship that goes along with it. The mentorship that we give. As a Stevens minister, I have had the ability to give mentorship to others, and I have actually heard from them and seen from them the ability for them to mentorship others after they've been. Some of these people need healing. I know I need healing. I needed healing. I still need healing on a daily basis, whether it is from our own body or from our mental capacity. What does mentorship do? What does mentorship mean for us? It is a servanthood. The servanthood that we give is servanthood that is received from others. And they will tell you that. They will tell you the servanthood that you give. And what do we get from that? It goes for the other things. It goes for gratitude. It goes for joy. It goes for wisdom. It goes for the opportunity that is there, sometimes as referred to on a daily or weekly basis. So don't let that pass. The servitude may be what Richard refers to is get involved in politics. Why? Not for the benefit of yourself, but for the benefit of others that need it. You may have the strength to be in servanthood, to be into politics for the benefit of others, not for yourself, but you will get joy from that. The last thing for the tapestry of life that I have invoked is leadership. All this gets us involved in leadership. Where do we see leadership? We see leadership in this podcast from Richard. He gives of himself. He is strong leader in trying to involve you all in the leadership that is out there, the opportunities for you. That is the leadership that I have shared with others, and I've seen other people take what they need, what they want. That is leadership for themselves, and they've passed this leadership on through all these different things that we have, what I have just referred to. Let me give some benefits that I myself, as a one-ship, have give to others. I have, in my nursing home involvement to this day, there are special people that I have been involved with. Some of the people in the nursing home situation I've been involved with, many of which received little, if any, visitors. One person that I was involved with visiting, if you all have known Jonas Salk, who gave the healing for polio. Well, this person, this female, regarding nursing, she was actually a senior nurse, and she was helped him. She did research for him on what was involved in healing polio. Jonas Salk, and she was involved. She was involved with it to the extent that she was freely giving of herself, and she was in a nursing home. And I met with her on a weekly basis till she passed. Another person I was involved with was a hero from the Vietnam War. His father received the Medal of Honor in World War II. Because of the war in Vietnam, he lost his legs. I visited him, and he had very little visitors. Does that make me great since I visited him? No, I heard stories about him. Something that he shared with me after I visited him for about a year was he was on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine with his band uh, before he went to Vietnam. And what happened to him? He was uh, he was a helicopter pilot, and that's how he lost his legs. But before that, he was involved in a band with Rolling Stone. I'm involved and have been involved, and I have relatives. As a matter of fact, my wife is involved today with Downtown Daily Bread. I've helped her recently, but primarily she was involved with the altruistic Downtown Daily Bread. Down there at a church, they have had this, and I was involved with Downtown Daily Bread from its beginning, which was probably 25, 30 years ago that we set up for the indigent and people that need food. It's involved on a daily basis. Next, I've helped my wife. She's involved with, on a monthly basis, Meals on Wheels for the aged and the elderly who can't get food. There's the Susquehanna Food Bank that she was involved with. And I've already referred to alcohol and drug rehab people that I've involved with. And the last thing that I'll refer to is the Humane Society. It doesn't have to be people. I've given myself for the animals. What I've got involved with for the Humane Society, I've been part of their medical team. I am not a trained medical provider. So what I've done is on a weekly basis, I have uh, got their needles, and the needles I would tape different colors to the needles for different kind of medication that the cats, dog, and other kind of animals, rabbits, etc., needed shots and needed operations. So I did that. So to provide help for them, so they didn't have to do this menial task. And I also had uh, kitten training. So what is kitten training? Kitten training is where kittens would have to be held, nurtured, and pet and talk to so that they're not wild. So people who want to involve themselves with adopting kittens, that they say, wow, these kittens already loving. So that's the same involvement that I have done. This is some of the different things involved with altruism. So let me conclude with one thing from Scripture that I always think about. So, the scripture that Jesus Christ gave regarding the 10 talents, involving the 10 talents, there he gave the lesson of the rich ruler who gave 5 talents to one of his servants, 2 talents to another servant, and 1 talent to another servant. So the 3 talents, the 3 servants got them. What were the talents? Talents were either gold or silver, and supposedly in this lesson that Jesus gave, they were gold. They were golden. And the one servant took the 5 talents and he invested it and he multiplied it twofold. So what did the rich ruler say to them? My good and faithful servant, you have done well, and you will be blessed for doubling the gold talents for me. And he said, I will give you more talents because of this. The same benefit came to the servant who had 2 talents. He doubled the 2 talents in a different way. And the rich ruler said to him, my good and faithful servant, because of what you've done, I will give you more talents, for you have done righteous by this. And the last servant, the one talent that he gave him, he buried the talent because he said to the ruler, "Oh, you are a tough ruler. You have. I've seen what you've done to people who have lost the benefit of what you have given to them, and so I've buried it. And here's your talent back." So the rich ruler says, "You have done wrong. Actually, you've done evil. Instead of giving of yourself to benefit others, you will receive no talents. As a matter of fact, I will give you negative, not benefits, but negative harm will come your way." So, what does this say to altruism? To me, it says everybody that's involved in their life will see the opportunity. Remember, the tapestry of life is woven for you. You are the one who puts different parts of the tapestry. And what have you done for others? This is going to come true. That is the way I see it as a Stevens minister. I see it as a person involved with other people, and therefore, there is what is called fear of the Lord. A lot of people think fear of the Lord means, oh, I'm afraid, just like the one person, I'm afraid of you. No, the other people were involved knew. So, what is fear of the Lord? The fear of the Lord is knowledge of the Lord. So, in the event that I gave here with a rich ruler, they understood the benefit that the ruler would have for other people. And they said, what would the benefit be that the Lord, my Lord, the rich Lord, wants to have? So the benefit is to help others. And the one uh, servant completely misunderstood what fear of the Lord meant. And what he gets out of it, I hate to say, but it is a not only negative benefit, but he's going to be punished. So it's not the fact I do this that you should do this because out of fear of punishment. But to conclude right now, it is the benefit of others really benefits yourself for health. And there is a long list of other things that I could get involved with that I had prepared, but I'm going to conclude with the fact that I've given everything for you to understand the tapestry of life for others, but the benefit for yourself. So, Richard, that is
My
what.
question, yeah, okay. I have some questions for you.
Sure.
The reason why I brought you on the program was because you said to me one of the problems is people don't do enough to help people.
Right.
And when you said that, you felt people need to understand the definition and people should do more of this.
Right.
Is that correct?
That's correct. That's
Um,
exactly correct.
how do you see it? And I'm asking you this: how do you see it that we should do that? And how do we encourage people to start to be a little bit more kinder, a little bit more gentler? And I'm going to give you two examples that I want you to respond to. One, I think government needs to take this definition and use it because we got some problems in America now, and maybe
Mm-hmm.
we need to deal with it. That's number
Mm-hmm.
one.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, how do you see that people need to even think about this word and what it means and why they should do it?
Okay. So I'll go first of all to the word and go back to the government. The word itself, when I uh, approached many people about the word, my wife my two sons, my daughter-in-law. I'm going to give a talk about altruism. Richard, and most people say, "No, I don't know what altruism is." It's a hard word, but basically, taking away the definition of the word is easy. Altruism is just a fancy word meaning giving of yourself. So the dictionary definition of giving yourself to the benefit of others, and sometimes to your detriment, and you don't mind to your detriment. That is all the what the word altruism is. It's a fancy word, which I wish there was another word to describe it. And I've given the definition. The only way of describing altruism is the definition that you gave, that I gave. So, but that is every day I referred to, as you heard, there's opportunities for us to do things. Every week, every month, there's something to say, I could help that person, or I can involve others in it by explaining what you do to help others. Richard, for example, yourself, I'm giving you as an example in this podcast that you do and all the different things. It's always uh, to benefit others and to show, if you don't in your podcast, it's to other people's detriment. And what you should be involved with is not doing nothing, which is a detriment to other people, but get involved. So, what you said today about getting involved with government, of politics, getting involved, and maybe running for office, that is what we need more of. Because I'll tell you what, today, I try not to get involved in the negativity of government, but it's out there. It's it's basically, what can you do for me? Remember, uh, one of the things that I always remember, and it's not because of the politics of the person, but uh, President Kennedy says, uh, do not think, maybe you can help me with this. It's escaped me right now. Do not think what government can do for you,
What you can do for government.
but
Yes.
what you can do for government. That
Right.
stuck with me at an early age. I saw him in Pittsburgh. He drove a motorcade through Pittsburgh on the South Side when I went to South High School. And I remember those words after he was killed. And so he gave of himself. He gave his life, basically. So that's
Um,
where I would conclude.
I would say to you, by bringing you on this program, is that there's so many people out there that does a lot. There's a lot of people out there. And one
Yes.
of the things that I want my audience to understand is that a lot of you do a lot of things, but nobody don't pat you on the back. But it's not about all that.
Exactly.
The purpose of this conversation is you do it because that's what you want to do. You do it because you believe. You help people out. It's not about saying I did it for this person, I did it for that person.
Right.
So I hope that my audience sits back and go, yeah. Or we
Right.
need to do a better job of encouraging other people to step up to the plate. You know,
Yes.
you talk about, it's very interesting. You talked about how your father set the foundation for you by reaching down and helping the neighbor or help the people under the bridge. All of us, and I'm listening to all of us in our listening audience or who people know, every last one of us can think about somebody, either a neighbor or in our family, reached out and helped somebody and didn't ask for anything.
Yes.
We did not look at it in the way that you had articulated it. But now that you articulated the way that you have articulated, I'm going to say that everyone knows somebody somewhere that took the definition that you have and used it.
Yes.
And so I hope that people understand, if nothing else, they understand it wasn't about you, but it was about the stories that you told, and take the definitions of what you said of how you see things and look at yourselves in the mirror as being exactly the definition that we have. There's so many people out there that they realize they do a lot, but we got to do a better job of encouragement. That's what you
Right.
said. You said one of the problems, that's why you came on the program, because me and you were talking, and you said one of the problems is we're not kind. We're not
Right.
gentle. As a
Right.
matter of fact, a lot of us are becoming mean. And it doesn't help being mean internally. Because you talked about this being healthy.
Right.
You talked about it being spiritual or happy because you help somebody else out. So let me ask you this here. Give me 2 words or 5 words that you want to leave my audience with. Either a word, prayer, or whatever. But I
Okay.
want you to leave my audience with. It could be a word, prayer, or whatever.
Yes. Altruism is joy from within and from without. Altruism is joy from within and from without.
Okay. Well, we're going to leave it with that. I want to thank you for coming on. I hope that the conversation that we had today got you thinking. But I just want to leave you this, dear audience. Even though we don't walk around and use this definition, altruism, every last one of us, either it's ourselves or we know somebody that understood that definition. So have a great day and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips. Have a great